Yo, what up? This is Hopsin, and you rocking with Acton Entertainment. Yeah.
After the breakup, I got it. We started undercover prodigy. I've been to counseling sermons in churches, but still I can't get these fucking demons out of me. What's my philosophy? How'd I get the world to rock with me? How'd I get this killer following? How'd I go from being known in Panorama City to being famous on boggling? Everyone's mine. I don't go to bed as early. I be up all night up until 7:30 in the morning. My legacy's legendary. You won't ever catch a nigga stepping dirty. I know God has got me. I don't ever worry. I get it by any means necessary.
I'm not 100% confident that the name will be Savageville because the way the album is coming out, it's really a deep, dark story about my 2016 year that I lived through, and it may be Savageville, but I'm not sure yet. So I'll be figuring that out over the next couple weeks, me and my team, because you know when I was first making the album, it was very raw and everything, and it still has all those songs that it had on it, but I added so much more to it, and now it's kind of it's very personal. And Savageville, I don't think defines what I'm going through, you know. So we'll see. I will be updating everybody soon with that. So it might still be Savageville, but you know I'm just kind of indecisive at the moment. It stemmed from me just feeling like a savage, like I just pictured the land of the savages, where it's just cold-hearted and you know it's dark and lonely and ain't nothing to lose, you know. That's where it originally came from, because I feel like I kind of lost a lot, you know. All I have is my money and fame at this moment, so I don't really have love around me, and that's kind of just how I feel in my heart, like a savage. And it's not because I'm not saying I don't have love around me because I'm evil and all that. It's just that the outcome of fame has caused everybody to fall out of my life for one reason or another. And through my album, I'm going to be explaining that, because people think it's all like fun to have everything, but some people say don't let the fame change you, but sometimes, a lot of times, the fame changes the people around you, and that's what causes relationships to get burned. So yeah, that's what the whole Savageville idea came from.
So I gotta get it, I'm sure you can see why. If niggas ain't eating, we eating the green light. Come on, I'm not to put on for 818.
Yeah, I pretty much I didn't finish the album last year like what I created. It was like almost a small like EP type thing. But then I just went, and towards the end of the year and then top of this year, I went in and just added I pretty much added a whole nother half of an album. So I pretty much created half last year, half this year.
Nah, y'all the shit that you doing. And who said it can't be me? I've been up grinding for 80 weeks, nigga. I got no time for no ADD, niggas. I'm trying to.
Because there's a lot of dark situations I'm going through right now, where like I said, I don't have anybody in my life. I just have my music. I feel like I am all I have in the music, so I vent through my music. And you know, I don't do drugs or anything. I don't have any other escape to get away from these problems that I have. I just sit at home and soak in them. And you know, my studio is at my home, where I'm soaking in my problems, and that's kind of where I let everything out at. And I don't hold back in my music. If I got something to say, I just say it. That's the type of artist I am. And you know, I'm very aware that I may say things to piss people off, and they may want to retaliate in certain ways, in whatever way that may be. But like I said, I'm in my heart, it's very cold. There is no love around me. I don't care at this point. Like, I put my whole life out there on the line. There ain't much more losing I can do at this point, so fuck it. And you know, and in the future, like when I'm older, I may look back and go, damn, I wouldn't have done that. Like when I'm 40 years old, I may look back and go, I probably wouldn't have said all those things that I said. But right now, I'm young, dumb, and crazy as fuck, and I'm just at that low point right now, and music is all I have, you know. I wish there was something else. I don't want to say some of the things that I'm saying on this album, but it's all I have.
But you too infatuated with the money, you killed it and ran it straight into the gutter. Now
Yeah, I'm opening myself up all the way on this album, so they're gonna know everything about me. There's things on this album. There's things about me that people don't even know that they're probably that have been going on since like for years. So people, then I know people feel inspired by me, and you know they may be like, oh, he's so positive and uplifting, and he has a good message. He has a good message and all that. I'm putting it all out there. I'm showing you the Hopsin behind the scenes of Hopsin, you know. And like I said, I got nothing to lose. I'm an artist. I have to. All I have is my art now. I still, you know, I'm still wealthy. You know, I have my career, but that's all I have. So it's like, fuck it. Why not just feed it? Because I lost all the people around me that I cared about and loved. I literally lost everybody. Like, I don't have anything but millions of dollars in my account, and that is all I have, and I have my career. That feeling doesn't feel good, so it's like, fuck it. If I'm Hopsin, let's just be Hopsin all the way. Let me put my story out there. It's all I have. At least I'll feel better knowing I have a big-ass crowd singing this shit going, okay, somebody feels what I'm saying out there. And because, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the fame stuff, it threw me off guard. Now I know, you know, for the next chapter of my life to maneuver myself differently through situations, through certain people, because I understand what people can and will do to try to destroy you and break you down. And now, you know, I got my walls up where I'm not going to let that happen anymore in the future. But, yeah, I'm opening myself all the way up on this album.
Our accountant, that's kinda tricky. Something is fishy, that's risky. We just don't even know. We go with the flow while you rowing the boat. You keeping it simple minded, cause you know when our only concern is just hoping we blow. So when all the money come in from our album
Currently I'm banned from Australia over something that wasn't necessarily true. You know, dudes know how women are, you know, like they'll especially in a position like myself, they want to destroy you when they see you have something good. You know, I'm not a man who would go and violently attack a woman. I'm not that type of person. I don't beat women up. I'm not that type of dude at all. I'm a very loving and caring person, but at the same time, you know, when I'm trying to get a point across and I'm having a conversation with somebody, you know, I'm gonna give somebody the eye of the tiger. And you know, women like to run from problems. You know, when you push them up against the wall and you give them that eye of the tiger, they wanna go and they wanna go and use their woman cards in society. Going, if I scream, I know I'll get out of this because the cops will come. If I do this, if I yell, if I act like this, you know, they'll and like I said, dudes who've been in real relationships for a long time and been in long-term relationships, they know how petty women can be. And you know, like I said, especially like me, when I do have so much to lose, when I have money, I have a career, they use it as leverage. They want to blackmail you in situations like that. So me being banned from Australia is completely just, it's a horrible thing, you know. And I've dated many women in my lifetime, and this is the only situation that this has ever happened to me. And this and I happen to be the most famous that I've ever been, and happen to have the most money I've ever had. And like I said, fame changes people around you more than it changes the individual, and that is something that kind of happened with that past situation, and I got to witness it, and it was all fucked up. But you know, I know the answer I gave is kind of vague a little bit, but I will tell more of the story on the album, because there's a lot that I'm leaving out right now that I don't necessarily want to break the news on in this interview, but yeah, it's a twisted soap opera.
I hope you burn because I'm so tired of all the problems you've been causing me.
Yeah, 1 billion%, 1 billion jillion percent. The Funk Volume situation, it was. I mean, it sucked. You know, the whole thing. You know, I loved everybody in the crew, but this one, you know, this is the love of my life. You know, this is where I wanted to be in life. This is where I invested all of my, you know, my time and effort into it, and for it to all crash, it leaves you with just at a point where you just feel like you have nothing. So it affected the Funk Volume thing. that's easy to get over. It's just a business thing, you know. This is gonna take years to get over. This is gonna destroy my heart for years and years and years. It's bad. And there's a lot that you guys, the world doesn't know as well, which will come to light, you know. And it's coming to light because like I said, music is all I have, and I'm going to vent through my music. That is what I'm going to do to feel satisfied in my heart with the situation, even though I know it's not going to really fix anything like that. It may make things worse, but it's going to make me feel better for the time being, and that's what I need right now.
They wish that they could cut my life. I use my music as my public diary. It's what inspires.
Because it is the real Marcus Hopsin. It is like, it's everything. The stories are crazy on it. Not crazy as in like I'm a maniac, a lunatic, just it's probably gonna shock a lot of people, and I put a lot of time into it. A lot of my albums in the past, they didn't have a message. I feel like the only album that I put out that had a message, or a meaning to it, purpose, was my Raw album. Everything after that was kind of just songs placed together to create a body of music. But this album is all like this is my current situation that I'm going through. This is my life. All these songs are going to be complementing each other. You're going to be able to hear one and see what made me make this next song. And then you're going to hear that song, see what led me to this. You're going to get all of me. And it will be to the point, you know, I may regret it, because it will be to the point where people will look at me and go, you're the person who does that. I don't like you now. They're going to be able to specifically just be like, you're that type of person. And I'll own up to it. You damn right I am. I've gotten past all of that. It would be cool if that were to happen, but I know how that mainstream commercialized industry is, and I'm not a part of that. You know, at the end of the day, I feel like it just comes down to the fans and the money and the business that you got around you, you know? So I'm making a very good living off of doing this, you know, extremely, extremely well. And my fan base is very strong. They're dedicated. You know, I couldn't ask for better fans, and I'm very lucky to have them. So what matters in the end? Because when I'm 60 years old, am I gonna go, I won that award, or am I gonna go, I got people who really who are willing to ride or die for me? And when I'm 60 years old, am I gonna go, damn, that I was at the BET Awards, this and that, but I got this plaque or whatever, but I have no money? Or am I gonna be like, damn, I didn't get that, but I'm a fucking rich ass millionaire with so many fucking you know, business ventures going on, and I can provide for my family. I can provide for my family. We can live anywhere we want to on the earth, and we can do whatever we want. I think ultimately that's better, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, I do have a prideful side, where deep down in me there are times where I'm like, man, you know, I will look, I'll see artists and I'll be like, damn, they got that award. Artists dream about that since we're little kids. We have that dream of like walking up, winning the award, having our little speech and all that. And, you know, and every man's story is different, you know. Whoever wins that award, that shows their level of greatness right there. But, you know, my level of greatness may not be shown in that type of way. Everybody's different. So maybe... And that artist who won that award, they may be like, man, I did this, I had the team, I had the best team, this and that. And they might look at an artist like myself or a smaller artist and be like, dude, but I'm not like this dude, because this dude got where he's at by himself, like in his basement with a small team, and he got damn near close to where I'm at. That would be dope too. They may look at that and be like, that's admirable as well, you know. And there's good things in both sides, but at the end of the day, you know, it's about the business you got, the money you're making, and the fan base that you have to have longevity. And I think I have those things, so I'm not really focused on like the awards and all that. If it happens, that will be great. You know, I'm not gonna hate on it. I would love it, but it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Yeah, getting number one would be so sick. I would be jumping for joy. It would be awesome. But you know, depending on, I don't know exactly when my album is dropping, but you know, and that also depends. Like I'm not a very I have a big name, but I'm not the biggest name. And you know, what if Drake drops an album around the same week I do? What if Eminem drops an album? That's gonna push me into number 2 or 3, and whoever else. The Weeknd may drop an album, and that may, you know, and I know they have big fan bases, so I may not get that spot. But in that time, you know, hopefully none of them do drop. That would be great for me, because, you know, that's also, you know, one of the things that you want to be mindful of when dropping an album. Who else is dropping? And, you know, you want to hit it at a spot where, you know, you can make yourself look the best. But we'll see. But I'm not really focused on that type of stuff, because, like I said, whoever's gonna buy my album is already gonna buy it. So if some bigger artist drops an album the same week that I drop my album, I don't look at that as if I'm like, damn, I didn't get number 1 because they got it. I'm just gonna be like, dude, how many albums did I sell though? So this person sold 1 million in the first week, and I'm selling 100,000. I'll be like, I'm happy with that. I'm cool with that, because more people are fucking with me more people are fucking with me now than in the past. So I'll still be happy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really comparing myself to the next man like that. But like I said, there's that little prideful guy in there who's like, please, I hope I do get it. I hope I do. But then, you know, my conscience just lets me know, like, yo, man, it's all good either way.
Bitches, I'm making dough from all the bitching. You think I would baking soda in the kitchen? It's UP and taking over is the mission. The realest the nation know the shit's encrypted. Listen, I debate.
Man, D12. If there was no D12, there wouldn't be Hopsin right now. Just put it that way. Like I'm a weirdo. This all stemmed from me listening to D12. I listened to everything, bought all the albums, everything, and I listened to them religiously. I never been to any of their concerts, but because back then I never went to any concerts. But dude, they are what molded my teen years. They were everything to me. You know what I'm saying? Like there were other rappers that I enjoyed as well, but D12 were like the one. They were just amazing. So and during this album that I've been listening to, I went and repurchased all the D12 albums on my phone, because I wanted to get into that headspace of just really like you just not giving a fuck the way I need to not give a fuck right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I found a lot of inspiration in it. And when you hear the album, you will hear a lot of D12 influence. Eminem, D12, you know, Bizarre. You will hear the influence. And you know, I'm not gonna hide that, because they, you know, I pay homage to those guys. So, yeah, man, I just love D12. So they without them, I wouldn't be the same type of person that I am right now. Like they didn't just mold me as a rapper; they molded me as a person. I know you're going probably people are like, what? But they're so crazy, this and that. You know, and any smart person can see through a lot of the stuff they say, as far as like they say crazy shit, and the point necessarily isn't like, oh, let's go rape somebody and stab somebody and this and that. They talk about shit like that, but it's just more of like, dude, who gives a fuck? Chances are everybody's gonna hate you anyways. They're all gonna talk shit regardless. Why not? Like, why not? So whether you go up there and make a positive song or a negative song, there's gonna be a million people who fucking hate you regardless. Who are gonna talk shit. So fuck it. Just add fuel to the fire. Just fuck with the world. Who gives a fuck? Like, just, and you know, but I apply my real stories in it as well. Just like, why not, man? It's music. Have fun with it. Just do whatever the fuck you want to do. This is your music. Fuck trying to be like everybody else. Just do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's what I get from D12, Eminem, all of them. You know, no matter what type of drugs they talk about, I wasn't looking at it like, oh, drugs are what I need to do now. I look at it as, what I got from that is like, dude, be your fucking self. Fuck everybody else. Be your fucking self. Do what you want to do. Be true to yourself. And that's what it's all about. And I think that's when the music, you know, that's when everything will start building up. And you'll be more comfortable with everything, because, yeah, why give a fuck? Yeah, I listen. Yeah, when I'm in the car, I'm just bumping D12. I'm just listening to, because I forget sometimes. You know, it's been a while since I was listening to them before I started making this album, because I get so caught up in the trap music and everything, and I find myself just listening to a lot of these softer artists, and then and I'm thinking they're hard, but then I listen to D12 and I'm like, oh shit, this is what dope really is. I fucking forgot. I forgot that I could do this shit. I forgot that this is what I was raised on. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's just refreshing, and I'm sure fans and people in the world will feel the same way. You know, so I'm just doing what feels right to me.
If I ain't hot, goddamn, I don't know what you gotta say now, Mr. Jones.
I have not. You know, I haven't really found I mean, I didn't think about it, you know, because I'm strictly just a fan of D12. You know, I'm a fan, so I'm not. I just admire what they do, and this album is so personal where I just feel like there's no place for anybody to fit in because it's all about my life. It's like directly about my life, you know, so there's no type of verse that anybody could place on this album where they would have an opinion because everything is about my life directly.
When you go blow up, man, when am I gonna start hearing about you? It's been years, man.
That would be sick. That would be really sick. You know, I know, you know, I have met Bizarre, you know, when I was in Ohio, you know, him and I had linked up, and he came out to one of the shows. You know, I brought him up on stage. He's the only one I met from D12. He's a real cool dude, you know. But I just never know, you know. It would be cool, you know, to have it happen. I'm not against it, but at the same time, you know, if it doesn't, I wouldn't be salty about it. I'm a fan, you know. Sometimes, I mean, I'm the type of person where I can just admit that I'm a fan. You know, if I meet one of my favorite rappers, if I met Eminem or 50 Cent or Dr. Dre, it would be dope to work with them, but I would let them know, like, straight up, like, I wouldn't even want to fake with them to have them remotely think that I'm the wrong type of person around them, where they're like, is he trying to just rap with us, or is he trying to be fanboy? I'm gonna let them know, like, yo, bro, I don't care, whatever this is, I'm a fan first, like, I'm a fan. So you need to process through your brain that I'm gonna do fan things, and because I don't know how to process you guys as normal people, and I accept that if that burns bridges, that's cool because I'm a fan. I'm a fan, and that's what I like them for, to be a fan. I never pictured myself rapping with them. I just want to enjoy their stuff, but if it ever did happen, that would be cool. But yeah, man. So I don't really like plot on, I gotta make this happen. It's just more of like I just admire their stuff from a distance, and I'm fine with that.
I just can't deal with these niggas no more, man. Yeah. I just can't deal with these niggas.
They don't mind 9 being a diss to Australia. I would never diss Australia, man. Yeah, never. I have so much love for the people in Australia, all the fans out there. They were hip to Hopsin way back then, you know what I'm saying? Before I even built a solid fan base, and I would never do that. Australia didn't do anything to me. Australia didn't. I mean, like it wasn't them. It was just one person who kind of used shit in a way to fuck me over, and yeah, I would never do that. And I hope to go back, but I don't know if I'll be able to go back anytime soon, no, because of shit that's going on.
Niggas now give a fuck. Shit, asking to be on my team, trying to take my goddamn cream, cause you niggas stuck. Same niggas always name dropping, like, hey, Hopsin, I rap too, I'm trying to get paid off it. Dre heard my.
As I said before, none of this feels good. It doesn't feel good to have it out. I'm very aware of what I have done by doing that, and that is, you know, that's not even the start of it, but I'm very aware of what I just opened up right there. So it doesn't make me happy, but at the same time, these people they've taken shots at me, and I've stayed silent. They've done things to me, and I didn't do anything about it, because I'm the type of person where I actually enjoy talking things out. I'm the type of person, metaphorically speaking, I won't put a gun to your head until I take every option. So if me and you were beefing, I'm gonna try to call you first and be like, look, bro, we've known each other for this long. There's no need for this to do that. But it depends on what measures you took for yourself. So let's just say if you did something wild, I'm like, I can live through it. I may just be like, okay, you did that. It's kind of fucked up. I'm gonna just be the bigger person and not do anything and just let it die down. But you know, some people just keep picking and picking and picking and trying to wake up the dragon, and you know, people and then they make me out to be like I'm some type of monster. I know there's a lot of people right now who look at me like I'm a monster. I'm a maniac. I'm doing things just for fame. Just do this, and it's like no. Behind closed doors, for the past year, I've been talking to everybody on my team like, yo, man, we've all been like, let's just ignore it. Let's just not. They did that. Damn, why they did that? Let's just ignore it. Let's keep it. Let's just keep things moving forward and not pay any mind to it. They keep on picking, and it's just like, are you guys aware that I am a rapper who has a huge fan base that will buy into what the fuck I say, and they will buy into my story and my side, and I'm gonna be truthful and open and honest about it all. I'm even gonna reveal myself and expose my own self in exposing you. Because some people don't think I'll do that. It's like, I'll shoot myself and you just to get you. That's how fucked up I can be. I'm not just gonna, like, I will cut my own throat after I cut yours, just so everybody can see, like, yo, I don't give a fuck. But I don't want to ever resort to that. I don't like resorting to that. So this song that I just released, these people have been adding fuel to the fire. This came out, this almost a year later. With the old FV label mate, that situation, and you know, with my ex, it's months later after all this stuff happened, but sometimes I'm like, why am I being so nice? Why am I being so nice? If these people are throwing shit at me and I'm just sitting here just taking it, like, fuck that, dude. Fuck that shit. And they're making me out. I can't help that I'm good at rapping. I'm gonna just say it flat out. I can't help that I'm good. I can't help that when I speak, people listen. I can't help that when I drop an ill mind, the world buys into it. They understand my perspective. They get it. I can't help that. I don't have a gun to anybody's head. I'm not saying fans do this, so I'm gonna kill your families. It's my music I put out, and they love it. If these people, they're you know, I can't help that they don't get the same reaction. I can't help that when they speak, they can't capture the minds of millions like I can. I cannot help that. And people try to make me look bad for that. Oh, here he goes lying again. Here he goes making up stories. This is my life that I speak about. So if someone says something about me and they do it in a way where it's like, fuck Hopsin, and it's just a nonchalant way, and I go, fuck that guy, people are like, whoa, that guy looks a lot more believable. I can't help it. That's the way I said it. We both said the same thing. I just said mine with confidence, and I have bigger balls saying it. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold back. So my thing is, and this goes with anybody who knows me, I don't enjoy destroying my team. I don't enjoy fucking up relationships with loved ones. But some people just thrive off of ignorance. Some people are just like, it'll be like you telling me like, hey, if you come behind this mystery door, you will see the truth of life. And I'm going, man, you lying, you stupid ass motherfucker. Not only am I saying you're lying, I'm calling you a stupid ass motherfucker and telling everybody you're crazy. But I didn't even go to look behind the door. So now I'm just calling you crazy, and you know in your mind the truth is right behind there, but I'm denying it because I think that you're a stupid motherfucker, and you'll be so offended, like, look at these, like, the truth is behind here, and you're saying, look, I don't want you to live in ignorance. Come over here and see the truth. And some people just don't even want to hear it. There's some people in the world who are just like, I don't care. Even if it's the truth, I don't care. You're crazy. And it's like, okay, that's the route you want to take. We can play that game. If people want to be petty, I'm excellent at the petty game. I'm excellent. I am excellent at it. I don't care. And I don't ever want to get to that point. But unfortunately, a lot of my music has a lot of that side, you know, showing within the songs I made, because, you know, I've always said it. Hopsin is best when he's mad, but I don't always try to be mad. When I made my album Pound Syndrome, I wasn't mad at all. That was my normal music. This music I'm making now is on some other shit.
Take our health, lives and just hand them off, thinking that we did this from organic thoughts. I know you seen parents trick kids with candy toys and Santa Claus. The same method is used to trap adults, but instead.
Oh yes, it was. Smashing that room up was awesome. That felt really good. That TV, the desk, everything. I wish I could do that more often, you know. But I had to pay for all of that furniture. I bought it for the set, so. But it felt really good, and yeah, it feels good to just see it come to life, because when I watch the video, I'm like, dude, like that's what I was. Now I can stand back and be a fan of my own self. Not to sound cocky, but it's like, this is what was in my mind. I executed it. Like, it feels so good. Now I can move on from that specific moment on to the next thing now.
Life has been part of a whole plot to keep you at the bottom while they on top. Stay quiet, then they won't stop. They always trying to show us what we don't got. They do it to all of us till we finally break and go.
I just went to South Africa, and I was in Cape Town, and then I went to Thailand, and those are the only places I went. I just wanted to do something new, you know. I've due to my last relationship, you know, I was restricted. You know, because I live the type of life where, I mean, I can do whatever I want to do, but you know how when you're in a relationship sometime, and I'm not gonna necessarily put the blame on her. I understand, you know, you're like, no, you can't go there until it's convenient for me to go with you, or you can't do that, or you can't go with that person, this and that. For once I'm free now, and I haven't been able to be who I really am. So me traveling the world, that was me finally taking a step into who I am supposed to be, because now, what else did I make all of this money for? What else did I build this life for? Now I can go have new experiences, meet new people, see this beautiful planet without having someone going, no, you can't do that. Who's out there? Who's that? What are you going to see? What is this? What is this? How long? Make sure you do this. And it feels good. You know, it feels good. It's just sad that I couldn't do all this with the person that I loved and care about, or the people that I love and care about, because I can't lie, doing all that, it kind of did hurt the whole time, because I'm like, I'm supposed to be here with a couple other people that are family in my heart. But unfortunately, life didn't, you know, that's not what was written in my story. So now, you know, I was out there just doing it as the Lone Ranger, but it, you know, I still got a satisfaction out of doing it, and that's gonna be my life more often now. I don't have any restrictions or limitations to anything. It was cool. I got to meet new people, see new perspectives, learn a little bit of different languages, you know, certain words, and it was just awesome, man. You know, and when I'm in these other places, I'm like, wow, I'm just a dude from Panorama City, and I'm all the way out here in these other foreign parts of the world, and it's just like, wow, this is so crazy to me, you know. And the only part that hurts, like I said, is just not having love around me because, you know, I'm 31, I'm gonna be 32 this year, and you know, I don't want to be one of those stupid, dumb, ignorant people who think that they're older and they need to have all these things. Like, I know some people be like, you're still young, Hopsin, don't feel like you need to rush in anything, but there's a part of me, you know, that just feels like, man, I wanted to experience this with, you know, the woman that I love, and you know, and this is all the fans that were here tonight, all the money that they're giving me, all of this life that they provided me, this was for us, you know what I'm saying? And now it's just like, I just got a big ass bank account, so I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and do it. But part of me is broken though, I can't lie.
So many rappers that wanna catch my fade, so many bitches that wanna snatch my brain. I probably end up on a news dead bullet in the
it didn't heal me. It just let me know that I need to travel more often, because there's things that I haven't seen. But it didn't necessarily heal me. I mean, I'm, you know, like I said, I'm learning little languages here and there, but there's a whole world out there to explore, and that's what I have to always remember. And you know, and now I'm just reminded that I need to see the whole world before I make any decisions on what I'm trying to pick out of the world. So, and that is something, you know, I'm very blessed to have the option to go through the whole world and meet different people. But now I'm very mindful. Like, okay, let me see everything before I make a pick on anything to settle down. You know.
Give me that crown, boy. Come on. I said, give me that shit. Give me that crown, boy.
It was I think July of 2015, and that was the July of 2015. So yeah, I didn't have any holiday, anything. I needed it. Yeah.
In my ear over jury, I don't get excited. My perception of life is why the fuck am I here, nigga? I've been this way since your ass has been sucking on titties. Since niggas cock back and start busting on 50. Since J-Lo was
my life. That's it. I'm speaking about some things that no rappers have ever covered. I'm speaking. Every individual is an individual, and amongst society we hide how we really think to fit in with others. So when we step outside, we have a lot of similarities amongst other people. When we go home, we may think a certain way, we may act a certain way. This album is me at home. This album is going to offend a lot of people. It's gonna make people go, "Hey, me too. Yo, that's dope." It's gonna do everything. It's gonna make people go. They're gonna hear the album halfway through and be like, "This is dope." They're gonna be like, "That song made me not want to fuck with them." It may do that. It's just me though, And I just want to make an album where it's just like, I don't want to hide myself. I don't want to hide the way I really am. We're all human beings. At the end of the day, there's nothing we're really doing or thinking that anybody else hasn't really thought before. But why do we hide how we feel? Fuck that shit. Like I'm just gonna be me to the fullest, and that is something that I feel people lack.
Give me that crown, boy. Come on. I said, give me that shit. Give me that crown, boy.
Oh man, there's been quite a few situations. I've had people say my music helped them to stop do drugs. They may have had a very bad drug addiction. I've had women hit me up saying they used to be like very whorish and do a lot of hoish things, and they've stopped that because I helped them to get over that stage in their life and see the brighter side of things. I remember one time I saw something on the news about this girl, a robber or some guy breaking into a family's house and stabbing this girl like a bunch of times, and it was just nothing to me. And then a few days later, that same girl hit me up and told me, like, I guess she was on life support. She messaged me from the hospital bed saying, "Your music is helping me through this time." So it's just like that just blew my mind. Like, wow, like I just it was just crazy to see that, So there's all types of situations, and I'm sure every artist, every artist has fans like this. It's. I mean, a lot of artists do, different artists affect people in different ways, but it's crazy. It's crazy to see that. Yeah, the other day, there was a guy. He said he had 5 years to live. He was in a wheelchair. This was in Manchester. And he came up after the show. Security was like, "Hey, can this guy come in?" He wasn't part of the meet and greet. And then I was like, "Sure, bring him upstairs to the backstage area." He was like, "He's in a wheelchair." I was like, "Oh shit, I'll stay down here." So just a setting like what's behind us, and he brought him up, and dude said he had 5 years to live, and one of his dreams was to see me before he goes. And dude, stuff like that, it makes me feel. It makes me feel like they are looking at me like I'm Jesus, and I know I'm not Jesus, so it brings a pain to my heart because I can't heal them, So it's crazy.
That motherfucking book because the human wrote it. I have a fucking brain, you should know.
First time I felt famous. Let me see. First time I felt famous was in Denver, Colorado. I was on my Raw tour. And it was my first show that I actually had like 500 people, because I was going on that whole tour. I was doing shows that were like 50 to 100 people. And this one was my first show that I had 500 people, which is a lot for that time being. I mean, it's still a lot. You bring 500 people, that's a lot of people in general. When I walked through that venue and was walking to the backstage, and the way everybody was looking at me, I was like, holy shit. Like, this is real. This is real. This is a real thing now. Like, I'm not. It was just like, man, all these years that I put into my craft and making this music, since the high school days, it's all coming to life now and it's paying off, and it was an awesome feeling.
Trees with an apple to eat. That shit never happens to me. I don't know if you do it, don't exist.
The way to keep getting better is you have to let go in music. You can't, you're gonna have the influence, and when you hear the trap stuff, you're gonna want to do all that stuff and do all that cool swaggy stuff, but which is cool. Yeah, you have to be mindful of everything. So in order for someone to really grow, I feel like they have to listen to everything to understand the rights and wrongs. And there may not be rights and wrongs that are obvious like that. It may be rights and wrongs to them where they're like, okay, they may be like, I like trap music, but some people, they don't have too much substance to their lyrics, so I don't want to go that far because that may be wrong to them in their heart. But then they're like, I like boom bop hip hop, but I don't want to necessarily sound like an old school outdated rapper. And then that's when they gotta try to mesh both those feels and be able to present it in a way where they're being original to themselves and just letting go, not fully being like, I have to be this, I have to be that. And I feel like as an artist, all artists are doing are just letting go more and more and more and more and more and more and more, to the point where they may turn into something that they weren't when they first started, but it's just them letting go. And artists don't want to necessarily do the same things that they've done in the past. Sometimes they may have to, because that may be what the people want, but it's just about letting go. Like right now, if you see every rapper, most rappers in the music industry, they're gonna be on some swaggy trap stuff and with auto-tune. Now but they're not letting go, because I promise when they go home, they may bump something else, they may have other things, but they know that that's what they think that's what people do like it, but they're being tricked into thinking that that's the only way it can be, and it's not the only way, because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, there'll be some new sound that sounds nothing like right now. And then people are gonna start doing that. People just do what's cool, but whoever started that trend, that person had to take a risk first. So that person had to jump and take a risk, going, I want to try this out and see how it works. And then people may be like, that's dope, I'm gonna copy that. Then the whole music industry is that, and that. So me personally, I do think I'm better than I've ever been. I may not make the choices that fans want me to make musically. Like, they may be like, why did he do that? I know why I did it. So like last year I did a lot of, I guess you could say, trappy style stuff, because I have to also stay current with the times. Doesn't mean I'm going to make that music, but that was a challenge for myself to see, am I able to do this? Am I able to pull it off in any way? Am I able to still get the same amount of views that I was getting in the past by doing this type of stuff, but still staying true to myself? I knew a lot of my fans weren't going to like it, but I had to rediscover myself, because a lot of artists, that's where they drown. They're dope, then they reach a point where music is transitioning and they're not able to transition with it. And that's what's important. You have to be able to transition. So any artist will tell you this. Any smart artist will tell you, you have to be able to transition. If you don't transition, you will be that 1995 rapper for the rest of your life if you don't transition, and people look at you as a has-been. And this is part of trying to stay relevant. So And some people do collaborations. They like, I have to collab with this person because that person is popping, whatever. Different artists have their different techniques, but you do have to know how to transition. What you are right now, if you start rapping today, 10 years from now, you can't. You can still be that, but you're gonna have to be more. You're gonna have to be whatever the times are, because imagine back in the days if people were like with the way old school rappers rapping, like, my name is Hop and I'm also hot and everybody want to see me cause I'm on top. When my new shit drop, you better go get it. Like, that would be outdated. Now I'm sure there was a rapper like back in the day when a rapper like Cannabis may have came along and he's using more words. They may have looked at him, or even whatever rappers came about using more words and being more lyrical with multi-syllables and metaphors. They may look at them like, man, I ain't into all that fucking bullshit, gibberish talking rap. But that is what rap was transitioning into. Now where are those guys? No guy can do any concert right now. I mean, they can for like old time's sake, but they're not real. Nobody's popping right now who rap like, yo, my name is Acton, my king, and I'm on team and on top of my game. Got a brand new chain. Like, nobody does that anymore. It's outdated. And music, because you have to learn how to transition. Transitioning is very important. So in every aspect, from just mentally to the artists that you're fucking with to the beats, everything is important. It all matters, from the even the way you dress. You know what I'm saying? So it just all matters, and a smart artist will understand that. An artist who's stuck in the same spot won't get it. And fans will never get it. I'll tell you that fans are not going to get it. They just don't know. Some fans get it. Forgive me. Some fans will get it, but a lot of them won't, because they're going to want the artist to stay stuck in that 1995 rap and never evolve. That's what I'm saying. As an artist, you're just constantly opening up more and more to be yourself as time goes on, and figuring out more ways where you can be yourself even harder than you were, on the last project. You're like, what can I, and it takes a lot of thought, where you're like, how can I really be myself even more now?
On this road, trying to get high from my low. Won't somebody tell me where to go, please?
Raw. That's it. I am a raw human being. I am raw. That is the word. I feel like I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna tell it how it is. I'm gonna just be real. I don't sugarcoat anything, I don't. And a lot of the rawness only shows when I see ignorant people who are fighting their ignorance against me to make me seem like I'm stupid. That is when my raw side really, really shows, where I'm like, okay, you're trying to justify ignorance. I don't stand for justified ignorance. People who justify ignorance, that's what brings out the raw side of me. And that's pretty much what has channeled everything in my whole career. People who are trying to justify their ignorance. And that is when I become very aggressive, in my tone, because, and it's not me, trying to be an asshole. I just got to get my point across sometimes. And some people don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. But I'm just not a fake person. And like I said, I can admit when I'm wrong too, because, I won't lie. There are times in life where I may be under the shadow of ignorance and may not realize it, and someone may have to school me. But if I do get schooled, I'm the type of person I like to listen, so I'm not gonna resist something where I clearly see that I'm losing and I'm not making sense. And if someone does that to me, I'm just gonna be like, man, I learned from this situation. I'm not gonna lie. I did think this way before this conversation. I thought that I was right, and you just proved me wrong. And I respect you for that, and I appreciate it. Whether you and I are cool or not cool, I respect that you just put me in my place, because now I understand, and I won't make this mistake again in my life. And I'm one step closer to being a better person than I was 5 minutes ago or yesterday or whatever it was. I can't. Some people don't like to admit when they're wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. Apart from the album, I'm just trying to live, man. I just want happiness. I know I've said this in the past before. I enjoy doing music, but as of right now, it's not my true happiness. Like it's a good place to vent and all that. But all this life that I'm talking about, everything that's going on, this is not happy. This is not fun. Even fans are out singing the songs to these crazy situations in my life. It may be a temporary high, but this shit ain't cool when I go home. It's not fun, and I don't want this. I just want love around me. When I say love, it doesn't necessarily mean me finding the love of my life and all that. I just need more love around me. I need people around me who understand. I need people around me who are gonna go, look, Hopsin, I understand the weight that you must carry being an artist and being a person, having so many people look at you in certain ways. A lot of people don't think, they see me like, and I may be cool. I may, present myself as just being cool in a situation, but they don't really understand the weight that comes with this whole lifestyle. And it's fucked up at times, man. I have endless amount of stories that people who view me in a certain way done wrong things to me, and I just want happiness. And whatever happiness is at, I'm not gonna throw my whole life away and fan base away for that. But I'm just looking for it, and I want to balance it out with what I have going on. And I just want to smile more. I want to be happy more. I want to laugh more. The album for now, chances are I'm going to hide my personal life after I expose my personal life. Whatever the new personal life is going to be, I'm going to hide it because I don't want them knowing the characters of my life. I don't want them knowing what I'm doing. Because I'm going to rebuild a new me, and I don't want people to feel like this is me. I'm throwing away the old me right now on this album. Like, I'm letting everybody know how I've been and all that. Not necessarily throwing it away, but I'm exposing it all, and I'm gonna add to myself with other things that are gonna make me happy. And those will be the things that they don't know about me. So they may look at me and be like, yeah, I know this much and this and that, but there's gonna be a whole lot of things that they won't know, and that's gonna make me feel better because I'll be like, they don't have me figured out like they think they do. They have a lot of me figured out, but not everything.
That's just how it goes. Please do not get close. This is not a joke. Better be jotting notes of my hottest quotes till your pockets swope.